Are you there? Okay, now let's move forward. No. I didn't ask the question yet. I'm asking, you will answer the question? Okay, all right. So, Devanand, you tell me why UV unwrapping is necessary. What did you understand? Why UV unwrapping is necessary? You just tell me in your own words. Why is it important? Or if at all important, why it is important? Others also can make the answer ready, because definitely you are going to answer in your own words, so the answers can be a little bit different, so you also can prepare the answer. Okay, and this is a 10 marks question answer in the exam. uh, this question or very related question will come in each exam. This question will come each exam, so that much important it is. Okay, so for now just briefly tell me. Okay, got Devanand's answer. For the texturing with UV mapping, the texturing is to come proper. Okay, that I understood. Texturing should be proper. So if we do UV unwrapping, texturing will come proper. Yes, that is fine. But at the same time, we need to discuss, if we don't do UV unwrapping, then what will happen? That also we need to discuss in the answer of this question. Okay, so okay, Devanand. Any other answer, guys? Any of you can post any other answer. So what he understood, he posted his answer, and this is correct. This sentence is correct. It has to be, means that part also you need to discuss. If we don't do UV unwrapping, then what will happen? Any other answer? Come on, post quickly. Any of you can post. Okay, got Sagar's answer. For proper shading and appearance of the models. Uh, Sagar, actually, what Devanand wrote, no, you also wrote the same thing basically, but in a different words. This is also correct, definitely. Okay, any other answers? Come on, any other answers? Astha from your side, Bhavin, Jinal, Nitai, all of you, just give the answers. Prajakta, Rishabh, Shubham, Tanay, Tanmay. All of you, just think of it and write down your own version of the answer, because I'm emphasizing so much because this will come in the exam. In each texturing question paper, this question directly will come or indirectly the same question will come. Answer will be the same. Count guys, quickly, write it down. Or if you want to tell, you can tell. Switch on your mic and you can speak. Count guys. So Devanand and Sagar, they wrote what they think, and both the sentences are correct. You write what you think. Why UV unwrapping is important, or why we do UV unwrapping. Come on, quickly. Asta, what will be your answer? Asta, what will be your answer? If 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 you cannot understand, just write down don't know. Okay, but don't be silent. Uh, Sagar, you were writing polycounts also can be optimized by UV unwrapping. No, cannot be. Polycount will be the same. After UV unwrapping also, polycount will be the same. Remember this. Okay, we are not changing anything in polycount. It will be the same after UV unwrapping also. Mhm. Topology also will be the same. Polycount topology, because we are not going to change the mesh. We are even not changing the position of any of the vertices. Remember this. Okay, so nothing will be changed in the model. We are changing only the UVs. Astha, you were writing UV unwrapping is important so that we can give color and texture to 3D models. But if we don't do UV unwrapping, then also you will be able to give color and texture to the models, isn't it? Suppose you are not doing UV unwrapping, then also you will be able to do. Then there is some point, no? For that we do UV unwrapping. Okay. Jinal, what will be your answer? Quickly write it down. And after that, Nitai, be ready. Okay. Nitai. And after that, Radha. Okay. Why we do UV unwrapping? Okay. Devanand is writing. In UV mapping, we marks the point that control the pixels of the texture. And the texture correspond to vertex of the 3D mesh. Hmm. To some extent, yes. Okay, got the answer from Nitai also for better detail, better look, and to avoid texture distortion in the model, we do UV unwrapping. I got the first point, a very, very valid point from the answer of Nitai. To avoid texture distortion, this is a very, very valid point. Okay, we do UV unwrapping. Yes, correct. Okay, got the answer from Akash also. To provide the connection between the surface mesh and image texture. Mm, connection between the surface mesh and image texture. Akash, actually, if we don't do UV unwrapping, then also the image can be connected, isn't it? The image can be anytime can be connected. Through UV unwrapping, we don't connect the image actually. No, I'm understanding. I'm means trying to understand what you understood. That is the reason I'm asking you to write the answer. Means don't feel you were writing right or you were writing wrong. What you understood, you write it down. So I am appreciating those who already have written your answer. I'm appreciating it. Maybe it is incorrect. Maybe it is correct. Okay, got the answer from Shubham. We can wrap 2D image around 3D image. Yes, yes, Shubham. Yes, definitely. This is valid point. We can wrap a 2D image around 3D object. Yes. Anything else, guys? What you understood? Just write down what you understood. Rishav, Tanay, Tanmay, Nikita, Mayuresh, Lakshmi, Bhavin, Arfin, expecting the answers from you also. Okay, Sagar is writing. UV unwrapping is necessary for permanently manage the textures in model and baking of it for animation. Mm, permanently manage the textures in a model. This sentence is correct. Okay, but baking is a different term basically. We can bake, and if we don't want, it is also not necessary. Okay, Tanmay is writing. UVs are important because they provide the link between a surface mesh and how an image texture gets applied into that surface. Yes, now you are writing, so you are not only writing the connection, the link between the surface mesh and the texture. You This sentence is very much correct. How an image texture gets applied onto that surface through UV unwrapping, we decide that. This is correct, Tanmay. I liked the second sentence basically after and. How an image texture gets applied onto that surface. This is very important. That we can decide through UV unwrapping. Okay, so we got some ideas about UV unwrapping. Now, all of you just write it down. All of you just write it down. The question is, what is UV unwrapping? What is UV unwrapping? And why is it so important? No, Sagar. Baking baking can be done. Yes, baking can be done without unwrapping also, but we will get a wrong output basically. But the process can be done. So if we want to bake anything, definitely it has to be unwrapped from the beginning. Okay. So first of all, we should understand what is a UV map to answer this question basically. Okay, what is a UV map? So just write it down. UV map is a flat representation. Is a flat representation. All of you are writing. Okay, a flat representation of a three-dimensional object. Of a three-dimensional object, which is used, which is used to wrap a texture, to wrap a texture easily on the surface. Easily on the surface. The process, the process of creating, the process of creating this UV map is called UV unwrapping. Is called UV unwrapping. Okay. Can anyone read it out what you have written? Any one of you? Just read it out what you have written. Come on, guys. Any one of you, just read it out what you have written. Nikita, you have written, no? Just read it out.
Yes, sir.
Your mind. Yes.
A UV map is a flat representation of a three-dimensional object which is used to wrap a texture easily on the surface. The process of creating this UV map is called unwrapping.
Correct. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nikita. Okay, guys. So you this is not basically a definition. This is an understanding. Okay. So just understand it. What you have written. And this is the first part of the question. And second part of the question is, why is it so important? Uh, First of all, just understand and then write. Last day, last day, I gave you some examples of UV unwrapping, and in that, I showed you after doing the extrusion and some other operations, the checker boxes are getting distorted. Okay, so you have seen after some operations, textures are getting distorted. That means the UV alignment is not correct. So through UV unwrapping, we need to arrange it correctly so that textures should not be distorted. This is the first necessity we need to do. Second necessity is, if we do UV unwrapping properly, if we do UV unwrapping properly, then we can place the texture properly on the surface without distortion. Understood? So if distortion is not there in the UVs, the texture can be, in the texture also distortion will not be there. And if the distortion is there in the UVs, texture also will get distorted. This is the first reason. Okay. And second thing is, while modeling, so many times it happens, because of the complications of the models, sometimes UVs are overlapped on each other. Last day I showed you intentionally making it red. Can you remember that? The color was becoming red because of the overlapping. Okay, sometimes it can happen. Hmm. So sometimes it can happen, and that also we don't want. The overlapping also we don't want. We want a nicely flat plane. Okay, so that is another reason. So just write it down, all of you. In the primitive stage, in the primitive stage of any polygonal primitive, you people please write down a little bit fast, because I'm telling you spontaneously. Otherwise, I myself will forget what sentence I supposed to tell basically. So what I told, in the primitive stage of a polygonal primitive, Mostly the UVs are aligned correctly. Mostly the UVs are aligned correctly. Mostly the UVs are aligned correctly. Okay, mostly the UVs are aligned correctly. But after converting it into a model, but after converting it into a model, or after the applications of some operations, or after the application of some operations such as extrude, comma, append to polygon, comma, fill hole, comma, boolean, etc., etc. The UVs, the sentence is not complete yet, it is going on, okay? The UVs will get distorted, will get distorted or overlapped or overlapped because of creation of new polygons. Because of creation of new polygons. Full stop. Now the sentence actually completed. In the same condition of the model, I'm just elaborating it a little bit because it can be a 10 marks question, okay? In the same condition of the model, if we apply texture, if we directly apply the texture to it, if we directly apply the texture to it, that texture also will get distorted. The texture also will get distorted. To avoid this distortion, to avoid this distortion, we should do, we should do UV unwrapping, UV unwrapping for a polygonal model, for a polygonal model. It's not complete yet, okay? In some other cases, in some other cases, while doing a complicated modeling, while doing a complicated modeling, the UVs, the UVs also can be overlapped, also can be overlapped. In that case, in that case, if we apply any texture to it, if we apply any texture to it, we will get, we will get an undesired overlap texture, an undesired, an undesired overlap texture, an undesired overlap texture. So for this reason also, so for this reason also, we should do UV unwrapping. Okay, this was the second point. The answer is not yet complete. In the process of rigging, in the process of rigging, we use, sorry, we paint the influence of the joints. We paint the influence of joints. A clean UV map. A clean UV map. Yes, a clean UV map. A clean UV map can help to make this process smooth. To make this process smooth, what you have written, clean UV map can help to make the process smooth, right? Hmm. Okay, full stop. Okay, so this is it for now. Okay, how much you have written? It is this is an answer of a 5 marks question basically. How much you have written, or 7 marks question. The first part was of what is UV unwrapping can be 2 marks question, and the rest can be 5 marks question. The second part. Altogether, it can be a 10 marks question. In that, you just need to write a little bit process of UV unwrapping. So you need to describe, you know, uh, okay, just write it down. I'm telling, just write it down because this is very important. Will come in the exam, 100%. Just write it down. Either if I'm making the question, it will come. If somebody from the university making the question, it will come. Okay, so just write it down. Guys, just try to understand. Okay, what is UV unwrapping and why is it necessary? Two different parts. So for now, how much you have written? First part was 2 marks, and second part was 5 marks. Answer, the answer you have written. Now, when it is a 10 marks question, then what is UV unwrapping should be a 5 marks question, and why it is necessary 5 marks question. The segregation will be like that. So you need to elaborate a little bit the first part of it, like what is UV unwrapping. Okay, so I am telling the answer of it. Don't be confused. Like but right now, what I am describing, it is not a part of why it is necessary. I guess you got my point. So elaborating the first part now. If the marks will be a little bit more, it can be a 20 marks question also. I have seen Bharatiya University question papers, 20 marks question, flat 20 marks question. Yes, Sagar, not only writing the steps, I'm giving you some uh, hints in this. You'll be able to understand what actually we are talking about. Okay, so just write it down. The in between part, just keep it in a bracket. Like why it is necessary, keep it in a bracket so that you will not forget. Like this is the answer of that. Why it is important. And now you are continuing the first part of it. Like what is UV unwrapping? So just write it down. We are having we are having four different kinds of mapping. Four kinds of mapping to do UV unwrapping. To do UV unwrapping.
Sir, please repeat again.
I also forgot what sentence I told basically. Can anybody please read it out? The entire sentence.
We are having
So,
four kind of mapping to do UV unwrapping.
yes, we are having four kinds of mappings to do UV unwrapping. Four different kinds of mappings to do UV unwrapping. Correct. And for different objects, and for different objects, we can use different kinds of mapping. We can use different kinds of mapping. For different objects, we can use different kinds of mappings. Okay. The types are the types are now give a hyphen and in the next line or press enter, then from the next line you write it down. First mapping was, what was the first mapping? First one was automatic mapping. Whatever means it can be planner also. So first write it down. Automatic mapping. Okay, this automatic mapping you need to describe a little bit. What happens with automatic mapping? Hmm? Like how you can describe the automatic mapping? If we are having very limited number of polygons, we can use automatic mapping. Through the automatic mapping, the the map can be projected from 6 sides, or from the option box we can change it to 12 sides also. After projection, most of the faces will be separated, and by using move and sieve tool, we are going to connect the edges once again and we'll convert it into a single UV shell or two UV shells or limited number of UV shells. Okay, so that is automatic mapping. You need to describe in your own word. Don't write it down what I talked about. Okay, number two, planar mapping. Number two, planar mapping. In this, what you are going to write, you need to describe the planar mapping. If we are having a planar kind of object or a plane or a part of the object is looking like a plane, then we can use planar mapping. So planar mapping can be projected from X, Y, and Z from any axis, or it can be projected from the camera point of view also. Okay, after the planar projection, we'll get a flat plane of UVs. So you need to write something like this. Okay, third point is cylindrical mapping. Cylindrical mapping. Cylindrical mapping. So what you are going to write in this cylindrical mapping? Any kind of cylindrical object, we are going to use cylindrical mapping. in this, by default, the sweep will come in 180-degree. We need to complete the sweep into 360-degree. Sometimes the cylindrical shape is can be in a different direction. So through rotation of the mapping, we also can change the direction and can convert the UVs into a flat plane. So that is the cylindrical mapping. Number 4 is spherical mapping. So what you can write inside this spherical mapping, in any kind of spherical object, we can do spherical mapping. So in this, the horizontal sweep by default will be 180-degree. We need to convert it into 360-degree, and vertical sweep by default will be 90-degree. We need to convert it into 180-degree, and we can get a kind of flat plane of that spherical object. Sometimes we can get a little bit distortion at the north pole and the south pole. Over there, we need to use a cut in the edges and can unfold it to make it a better UV map. Okay, so spherical mapping. You describe all these four kinds of mapping. So first you have given the definition of UV unmapping, and then you described all the mappings like the process of doing the UV unmapping, and then you are writing the necessity of UV unmapping. Or if it is a broad question, what is UV unmapping? 10 marks question. Then all these things you need to write. And if in the question only it is separated like what is UV unwrapping, why is it so important, then accordingly means part by part you already have written in your notebook. So accordingly you need to write. Okay, I am hoping all of you have written it. Okay, what we described today. So I have given most of the uh, today's time in theory only because it is so important. Tell me, guys, all of you have written it. What we discussed today?
So can you say spherical mapping necessity again?
Sorry.
Spherical mapping necessity again, sir.
Okay, spherical mapping means how we do it, right? The spherical mapping point you want to know, right, Sagar? Sagar. Okay. So in spherical mapping, what I told, any kind of spherical object, we can use spherical mapping. By default, the horizontal sweep will be 180-degree. We need to convert it into 360-degree, and the vertical sweep will be 90-degree, and we need to convert it into 180-degree for a complete projection. Okay. After the mapping, in the North Pole and South Pole, we can get distortion. We need to cut the UVs and can unfold it to make the UV map clean. Okay, Sagar? So something like this you can write. Means whatever practically you have experienced, you need to write that. So in modeling and texturing, if practically you have experienced it, no, you can write in theory also. There is no problem. Means what I am right now, I am talking about. I didn't read it anywhere. I just experienced it practically, and I'm talking those experience. Okay. All right. So these 4 points you need to elaborate in your own words. Okay. Don't try to by heart it. First two sentence you can by heart it. Rest you need to write on your own words. Okay. Even the necessity of UV unwrapping, you just by reading it, whatever you have written, you try to understand it and then write it down in your own words. Okay, so this was a first part of today's lecture. Now, let's do something practically. Okay, otherwise we don't feel good if we are not doing anything practically. So let's go to Maya. Okay. Hope you can see my screen.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is Maya, and let's create something. Always, whatever you are making, try to make it on the grid. It can be always a good practice. Okay, guys, can you guess what is this? Can you guess? Come on, quickly. Okay, I'll ask you some questions, so quickly you need to answer. Can you guess what is this? The model I have created. No, definitely it
Brick
is a
or
rectangle, but what object it is?
brick or rectangle. Sorry, matchbox.
A matchbox. Yes, very good guess. Yes, can be. So now I'll do something with this. Be very prompt, guys. Okay, then we can save some time. We can do many things in one lecture. Now tell me what is this? Previously,
Cigarette
actually,
box.
it could be anything. Sorry,
Cigarette box.
cigarette box. Yes, yes. Okay, so just by giving one look, it has been converted into a cigarette box. Yes, correct. Okay, now uh, let us make it a little bit prominent. Like it is a cigarette box. So mesh and extract. Okay, extract. This is a different object. This is a different object. Okay. Uh, Now let's change the pivot point, and I'm keeping the pivot point over here. Okay, and trying to open it. And can you see it is getting distorted? Can you see that? So we don't want something like this. So what we are going to do? Go to Windows, Outliner. Why it is happening? Because both the things are inside this group. Okay. So and the transform node is there. That is the history basically. So selecting both, edit, delete by type history, and selecting this. And once again, let's check it. Still, it's happening because of this group. So selecting both, middle mouse, drag outside, and selecting this group and delete. Now let's check. No, it's fine. Nothing is happening. There is no problem. So this is a cigarette box. Yes. Okay. Now these are two different objects. So if I press 3, it will become like this because separate object. I don't want these objects to be separated. So selecting both, and once again, let's combine it and selecting the vertices and edit mesh and merge. Okay. Now press 3, connected. Okay. All right. So this is my model, cigarette box. I'll just save it. Okay, so this is my model, guys. All of you understood this much? This is the model. Okay, now going to not the hypershade. Let's go to the UVs. Okay, so UV editor. So I'm going to the UV editor. Okay, and at the very beginning, what are the things you need to do? Just click on this shading so that any overlapping you can see. Okay, and there is something just after the shading, display UV distortion. So just click it on. If any distortion is there, that will be visible. So I can see in this area, all the red patches are basically distortion. Okay, so sometimes it also can be useful, UV distortion, but always click on this one to see your UVs. Okay, now let's click on the checker box, and you can see it is looking like this, but the sides not correct, isn't it? Even these are not perfectly square in shape. This is also not. This is also not. So most of the areas are not perfectly done. Okay. So the checker boxes are distorted. That means what? The UVs are distorted. And this is you just have written in your answer. When we will change the primitive and will convert into a model, then automatically UVs will be distorted. So now the UVs are distorted, and that's why it is happening. So whatever texture we are going to give, that also will be distorted, and that's the problem, right? So all the checker boxes we need square in shape. Then automatically, whatever the texture will give to this object, that also will not be distorted. Okay. So for this, just before some time, I described the mapping. So you guys tell me, what kind of mapping should I use for this object? Come on, guess. What are the mappings we can use for this object? We are having four kinds of mapping: automatic, planar, cylindrical, spherical.
Sir, camera-based mapping
Okay.
is which mapping?
Sorry,
सर कैमरा मैपिंग कौन से मैपिंग में आता है?
camera mapping can come in planar also. In planar, camera mapping will come.
बिकॉज सर नॉर्मल बेस्ड भी है यूवी एडिटर में.
Okay, so Jinal is telling planar. Mayuresh, orthographic. Okay, orthographic mapping in the sense you were talking like from front view or side view or top view, like that. Okay, now normal based. Normal. Okay. Now uh, some general idea. Okay, of UV mapping. When you are having very limited number of polygons and you are confident enough, like I can deal with the polygons, like less than 50 numbers of polygons, suppose, and you are thinking like I can deal the polygons with the polygons. Okay, if I need to arrange it individually, manually, then also I'll be able to do. Then you should use automatic mapping. Remember, automatic mapping, it will automatically do the projection from each side. And I'm just going to UV, and we are having automatic mapping. Okay, can you see it is giving the option of the planes. In my answer also I talked about it. planes, the 6 sides. From the 6 sides, you can project of an object. Okay, so it can be 12 sides also. This is what I told. So if it is 6 sides, let's check what is happening. Apply. Can you see from all the 6 sides it is projecting on this object? Okay. If it is 12, then from 12 sides it is projecting on this object. I guess you were getting my point. Okay. So this is already a rectangle and it is having 6 sides. So why don't we don't you use automatic mapping? Because we can project it from all the 6 sides. So this kind of object, which is very simplified, very limited number of polygons, and you can see like this is looking like a primitive, we should use automatic mapping with a certain number of planes. So in this case, it is having 6 sides. So I'm going to use 6-sided automatic mapping. I guess you were getting my point, guys. Tell me. Okay. So just apply, and you can see from all the 6 sides exactly how my model is. I'm getting the projection. And this time, just clicking on the UVs, can you see everything looking perfect? There is no distortion anywhere. So after a single projection, we are getting the perfect UVs. Okay. So automatic mapping. Now let's come over here and clicking off the checker box, because checker box we have seen it is looking correct. There is no problem. So all the UV shells now over here we are getting different UV shells like this. Okay, and all the UV shells are correct in terms of the distortion. These are all correct. There is no problem, and you can see overlapping is also not there, right? But the problem is this is a very simplified object, but we are having so many UV shells. We don't want that. We want only one UV shell. I can show you something. If I unwrap a Marlboro uh, cigarette packet, it will look like this. So this is the unwrapped version of that packet. Now, guys, I guess you were getting my point. What is unwrapping basically? Converting a 3D object into a flat plane. So I have done that. It was a packet cubic object. I converted it into a flat plane, and I got this. So this is called UV unwrapping. Now is it clear, guys? What is UV unwrapping? No, not yet. Okay, okay, all right. So going back to Maya. So in the cigarette box image, just now I showed you. In that you have seen all were connected. All the parts were connected. Okay, but I have given cut to the edges. But otherwise, all the parts are connected. So in my UV shell also, I need to do the same. All the parts should be connected. So let us check. I guess you can understand. This is at the bottom, and it is basically flipped, isn't it? So I need to rotate it. So this is selected, and from here in this icon only you can understand rotate selected UV clockwise, and this is anti-clockwise. So let's rotate it clockwise. Okay, this is fine, and I'm keeping it aside. When you are working, you can use all these areas. Later on, you just need to arrange everything inside this positive area. Okay, so this is all right. Now another good practice, Go to display, polygon, and texture border edges. Always click it on, just to see the open borders. Okay, this thick borders you can see. These are open borders basically. So which border we want and which border we don't want, we need to decide that. So we don't want this border. So you can see this can be connected over here. So polygon, move and sieve UV edges. So this thick line has gone. So there is no seam. Selecting this, now this is coming. Polygon, move and sieve. All right. Now here, this I don't want. So this is going to connect over here. Polygon, move and sieve. And this is remaining. Anyway, if you want to convert it, you need to give cut in any of the edges. So I am keeping this cut mark over here. So this is fine to me. Now similarly, let us check. I don't want this. So this is going to connect over here. All right, this has gone, you can see. Now I don't want this. So this is going to connect over here. All right. And this is open edge anyway, so it is going to be there. Similarly, coming down and selecting this. So this is going to connect where over here. Okay. So polygons, move and sieve. So now it is connected over here. All right. Now this cannot be connected over here because this and this cannot be connected, isn't it? I have given cut mark like this, and like this. Then only I will be able to open it in a flat plane. Okay. So what about these two? So let's select this one, or you can select from this here also. So maybe this one. This is selected, and over here this is selected. So this also should come over here. So polygon, move and sieve. So it has come over here. So here also the same thing. This is coming over here. So polygon, move and sieve. All are connected into one UV shell. Okay. So selecting all the UVs, and this is the option. What is the tool? Layout UVs. Layout UVs. So just clicking on it, and it will automatically fit the 0 to 1 UV space. Always this is recommended. After fitting it, just scale it down a little bit so that there will be no possibility of crossing this line. Understood? Then there will be no problem. So select this object, and this is the object, and this is the UV shell, and just click it on, and you can see all the checker boxes are correct, and we are getting even checker boxes, same scaling throughout the object. And this should be the UV map of this particular object. So we converted this object into this flat UV map, and this process is called UV unwrapping, what you just have written before some time. Tell me guys, all of you understood so far what I did? All of you?
Sir,
Yes, Sagar?
so मीन्स अटैच करना है वो मतलब कैसे पता चलेगा क्योंकि सर यूवी अनरैपिंग में ऑब्जेक्ट्स में तो स्मॉल स्मॉल पार्ट्स हम लोग ने कट करके स्प्लिट करके रखे रहेंगे तो बहुत सारे पार्ट्स रहेंगे तो अपने जो अटैच
No, no,
किया
no,
ना
no,
उसको दो
no.
पार्ट
Yes, I got your point, Sagar. Once again, just try to understand my sentence, what I told. When you are having a limited number of polygons, I emphasized on this phrase, limited number of polygons. When you are having, then only you should use automatic mapping. If the number of polygons are not very limited but too many, then automatic mapping will not work in that case. We have to use something else. And you, but anyway, you don't have to connect so many, like you are having more than 100 faces, then it will be very tedious to connect individual faces. So that time the process is different. But today what I'm showing you the process of automatic mapping.
ओके सर।
Okay.
सर मैं वही पूछ रहा था कि जो दो पार्ट है ना, पता कैसे चलेगा किधर अटैच करना है?
No, when you will select that edge, no, that is the reason I myself can visualize it from here only. For you only, I was selecting the edges from here. Like this is the edge I want to connect. So I just went over there. If you want to learn UV unwrapping correctly, last day I told you to do something. I don't know how many of you have done it. Take the Amazon packing box and cut it at the corners and convert it into a flat plane. Simple. Okay. What I was showing to you, like after cutting this packet, I got something like this. Understood? So this is what I told you also to do. Same thing. Then it will be clear inside your mind. Like each object, you take several objects like that. Okay, you have done it in secret box. Yes. Then means experience some objects like that. Then it will be very easy for you to understand. Okay, means now definitely suppose after this I am thinking to connect this. So this and this can be connected. If I connect it, what will happen? Once again I am just wrapping it and overlapped. These are overlapped. This area is overlapped. Red color is coming. So I cannot do that. So I got everything into one UV shell and everything is blue, and that's a good news. Everything is blue. Okay. So this is the first thing UV unwrapping we need to do before assigning texture to it. Okay. Now, okay, before moving forward, tell me, all of you understood what I did so far? I projected automatic mapping to it. So all the faces were separated, and then I just connected each face by using move and sew. Okay. So while using move and sew, you have noticed one thing: the actual shape of the UV shell didn't change. It was just connecting with each other, but actual shape didn't change. Okay, that is the beauty of move and sew. Okay, now I want this texture only to be used on this model. Okay, so for that, in Maya, it will be very difficult, to connect individual parts on this UV. So far, how we have given the texture to our models in the NURBS models. But in the case of polygonal models, it is always better after the UV unwrapping, you take this UV map to Photoshop and then do the texturing. So today, for the first time, we'll be using Photoshop for texturing. Okay, let us check how to bring this to Photoshop.
सर
Yes.
सर अपने मतलब मूव एंड सीव किए तो वो फेसिस से किया था।
By
मैं ट्राई
selecting the
किया था
edges.
फेसिस।
By selecting the edges, yes. Move and see you have to do by selecting the edges. Suppose this one.
वो सर फेसिस का पूछ रहा हूँ, फेसिस से हो सकता है क्या?
No. It will not work. It works only through the edges.
ओके सर। सर आई
Suppose
ट्राइड ऑन
I
बेसिक
have
ऑब्जेक्ट्स।
realized this face. I don't want it should go it should come over here. Suppose. So selecting it, polygon, cut UV edge, then what will happen? This is separate now. This is separate now. Now I want to connect it over here. What I'll do? I'll select the edge. You can see this edge is also selected. Polygons, move and see. Now it is connected in this side. This is also possible. Of the same object. This is also correct. Now this time instead of here, the seam is over here. That is fine. There is the open edge. Okay. So now let's take it to Photoshop. The object is selected in object mode. Remember, the object is selected in object mode. Going to polygons, and at the end we are having UV snapshot. UV snapshot. Okay. Now it is going directly inside my project because my project is set. In that images folder is there, and the name is out UV. So I'm keeping the name out UV only. What will be the size? Let's say 1024 by 1024. It is a 1K resolution. Keep aspect ratio. And what will be the image? Let's create a JPEG image. And UV range, see, normally it is showing 0 to 1. So we have kept 0 to 1 only, 0 to 1, 0 to 1. This is fine. And okay. All right. Going to Photoshop, file, open. This is my project. Over here, this is the images, right? So going to images and out UV. This is what we have saved. The JPEG image. Name was out UV. Open it. Can you see? We can see the UV shell of the cigarette box. Now, what will be my job? I'm taking this texture to Photoshop. I'll start from this middle part. Okay. So I'll cut it from here one by one, and then I'll paste it over there one by one. So let us check. First of all, guys, check it very carefully what I'm doing. So this is the part, the front part. So I'm selecting this front part. Okay, and taking it over here, and this is the part I should keep it. And in this case, we don't do by holding shift in texturing. We don't do like that. We just fit the UVs. Okay, we blindly follow the UVs, not the texture. Okay, so this is one part. Now sometimes it is very difficult to see like where it is going. So for that, what can be done, I'm just duplicating it, keeping it over there, and instead of normal, let's make it screen mode. So now the UVs are also visible on the texture. Okay, file, save as. I'm just showing you what we have got so far. Source images, I'm saving it. Let's name it as cigarette box color. Okay, going to Maya, going to the hypershade. Let's take a bleen. Okay, a little bit glossiness will be there, isn't it? That is the reason I have taken bleen. And in 2D texture, I should use a file texture because in leaves also we have used it. And out color should be connected with the color. So going to the file and let's take cigarette box color. So what's happening? Just 6. So it was black only over there, but at the back I'm getting the texture. Going to the UV editor, can you see our texture map is visible? Through this you can see the texture map. So this much I have done so far, and that much is visible. I guess now you are getting why UVs are so important. Because if this is a little bit distorted, I'll just show you. If this part may be a little bit distorted, then what will happen? Our texture is distorted. Suppose this corner is distorted, texture is distorted. Understood? That is the reason UVs should be very, very clean. Then only this this these letters are coming without any distortion in a very linear form. These are all coming in a very linear form because our checker box, all the checker boxes were very evenly distributed. If there is a problem in the checker box, then your texture also will be distorted. Okay, so now let's go back to Photoshop. Photoshop, now let's take care of this area. Okay, so right hand side, which part? These two parts, right? These two parts. So what I am doing, image rotation, let's rotate it 180 degree. These two parts basically. So let's take a polygonal lasso tool. It's a little bit too much, I guess. Anyway, let's see how much we can use, and the rest of the part I'll just delete. Okay, so from here, let's take it over there, this side, isn't it? Okay. If it is going out of it a little bit, there will be no problem. But some problems are there actually. It is not matching. Now over here it is matching. Over here it is not matching. Okay. So as texturing artist, you have to take care of all these areas. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm selecting only this much area and making it like this. Okay. Now over here, I'm selecting T. Oh, sorry. I should use only this much. Okay, this is all right. Now, this side. Okay, so let's go back. Same thing I'm going to do. Okay, so now this side, let us check. Same thing and same problem. This side also. Make sure there is no gap in between. Sorry, this has to go over there. Then we'll understand if there is any gap. So yes, there is a gap. Okay. So again, Control T. I'm just trying to match this area. Okay. And now up to this much. So now what next? Selecting over here, Control T. Another problem is there in this area. This is looking distorted. So maybe separately, I will cut it and I'll paste it over there separately. Okay, I'm not giving too much time on those things, but we should do that. So trying to match it. Now small part of it. Sorry. Okay, so this much is looking fine. Now going over there and the middle part. Okay, now so this much, this much. So over here you can see there is a problem, isn't it? So both the sides, it's not matching. Separately, we need to do something. Oh, sorry. For now, I'm just dragging it up to this much. 'Cause, I want a texture over there. What I'm doing, I'm just replicating this, keep one texture, and by selecting the lasso tool, so you can see this area is matching. Okay, I'm keeping the same texture, another one. Now, okay, the top part of it. So in this, what I'm going to keep, don't be confused, guys, because it is Photoshop. I'm sure you will not be confused. You have used it in your first year itself. Okay, so in this, I'll just mask it, and I will unmask. Sorry, I'll mask most of its area. Most of its area. Still some error I can see over there. That also can be rectified, but I'm not giving too much time. This is not needed. So in 2 layers, I have done it. Okay. So in mask, yes. So this is also looking fine to me. Now this area, this will be the top, right? So when this is, once again, image rotation 180 degree, I feel this is the area. This is the area. Actually, the packet I have created on this packet is a little bit thick than my packet. Anyway, so over here you can see this much. Okay, over here you can see it's not actually fitting. So make sure it's fitting properly. All right. Now this one, it's this area. Okay. Now the bottom part. Okay. So let us check what's there. This is just flipped. So from here, I'm taking this much. Okay. Skip it over here. Okay. It's also done. Now this area is remaining. So let us check which one. These two, right? Yes. So let's take those areas. So once again, going polygonal lasso tool, taking a little bit more. This is a flat color, so there will be no problem. I hope so. Oh, sorry. You can see I need to rotate it, right? 180. Here it will come like this. And now the problem is it should have come up to this much. Up to this much means this line should not be there. So for that, what can be done? Perspective. Okay, that is gone. A little bit outside, there is no problem. Okay, and nothing error should not be means no error should be there inside the UV shading. No, for this area we need to work. So from this side, once again the same thing I'm going to do. From here, you can see randomly I'm selecting because I'm not worried. This is a flat color. -180 degree. Right click. First of all, let's make it bigger and then perspective, and this side should go over there. Okay, in this also some of the corners will be remaining, means it will be like this corner. I can see it's problematic. Okay, so for all those things, the background color, I'm just picking this color itself and creating background color, so that if somewhere it is visible, then only red color will be visible. And let's click it off. Okay, so this is my texture file, save as, and inside the source images in JPEG, I'm saving this. Okay, and let's go to mine. I already have created this texture, this file texture. So what I just need to do, reload, because I replace the same texture, no? So reload. Okay, reload is not happening. Anyway, not a problem. Anyway, I can browse it anytime. And you can see my texture is ready.
सर अपने लेयर्स को ऐड किया क्या आपने, मतलब पार्ट सेपरेट कर दिया तो
Sorry?
फोटोशॉप में, तो जो पार्ट सेट करके रखे थे साइड टॉप, उनको ऐड कैसे किया आपने फोटोशॉप में?
No, I was taking from here, no? I selected individual parts and I was just pasting it over here. Means I didn't get your question. I guess you are asking this only. I'm having all the different sorry. See, all the different parts over here. Doesn't matter how many parts you are creating over here. Doesn't really matter. It
सर
in
आपने बस खाली
Photoshop
वो
there
बॉर्डर
can
के
be 100 layers. Hmm? Yes, Sagar. What are you asking?
नो सर, आपने वो गैदर किया ना पहले अनरैप का, उसका साइज अलग था ना, समझा सर?
No, the size is same. Still, my UVs are the same. Now you can see we have got the texture, but the UVs are the same. What I unwrapped, and we took the same UV reference in the Photoshop to texture on it. So because we got the reference very easily, we gave the texture on it.
मुझे लगा जो यूवीज है ना
Hmm.
सेल, उसमें से पेस्ट करना है टेक्सचर.
No, yes, I did the same actually. I kept, just check over here. I kept the texture only in the areas the UVs are there. Rest of the areas are blank only. I just gave a flat red color in that space. But I added the texture only in the positive UV area. This is a background color. In case something is missing, then it will take this red color. Now understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mayuresh, which part you were talking about, that black patch? Okay, during working some patch was there, I feel. Okay, this patch, no, this patch. This is correct. Actually, this red should not be there. Yes, this red should not be there. So another thing can be done in this area. I'm taking another layer and taking this color, and I'll just paint it. Yes, good observation. For this only, I kept the third layer, but finally I deleted it. I thought that pattern is there. Reload. I don't know why it is not reloading, but it should work like that. Okay, now it is clean. Okay, so like this, you can do the texturing, and next day I'll show you how to texture a cigarette. Okay, so that you can keep inside this box. And also, we'll learn how to create a burning cigarette. Okay, but over here you can see I got the entire texture very nicely. All the text and everything are coming in its correct size. Anyway, guys, so this is it for today. Quickly, I will take the attendance.